far. We've got game 2 of Suppy versus xSixSuppy coming right up for you guys. Let's do some player intros, Rance.
Spawning on the left side as the Zerg in the red, we've got Suppy.
From Team Check 6, of course.
And on the right side position, spawning as the purple Zerg, we've got xSixSuppy.
Of course, from Team Gosu. And, I mean, we saw some great play out of both players last game. Suppy tried to do a big counterattack with his roaches when the mutas were incoming. Unfortunately, it got cleaned up. And it was kind of just downhill from there. We saw some great transfuse micro out of him, though. Pretty impressive play.
Yeah, well, that was about his only choice, though. He had to bring out all of those queens there, and he just put what he had to good use, and it came in handy. So if you guys ever find yourselves in small numbers there as Zerg, and you got a lot of queens, take a little page out of Suppy's book there.
Absolutely. Queens actually have a lot of health.
Yeah.
And some armor, and so they tank damage pretty well.
And when they transfuse a roach, it's pretty good. When there's like 6 or 7 of them out there, you can keep them up for a long time.
Transfuses are so good. Of course, ideally, you actually want the queen taking the damage, and then you just transfuse the queen, because the queen actually has more HP than the roach. But Suppy getting a lot of drones out, so I don't think we're going to see a super early, pool out of him. We've got the drone moving down for the expand. What do we see out of xSixSuppy, though? Looks like he's going for a pool first build.
But was that on 15? Did I catch that correctly?
It was a 15 pool, so similar build to what we saw last time then.
It's a nice eco play. It leaves him pretty strong, especially during that window there. There's a couple minutes there, right around 6, where he's real strong with this.
Absolutely. He gets those roaches out early and is able to put some pressure on. And throwing down the gas on 15 as well. So the same build coming out of xSixSuppy we saw last game. Seems pretty confident with that. Suppy finally throwing down his pool. Actually went up quite high in the drone count before he did that. So a very greedy opening out of Suppy. And in a best of 3, when you're down 1 game, I'm not sure if this is the right play, especially not having scouted your opponent yet.
I am so lucky to be here and watch these, because it actually just teaches me so much every time I see this level of play here, Gwin. And I wish I was developed enough to have an opinion and be able to like correct a guy. Oh, I don't know if I would do that here, knowing what he knows. But really what I do is I'm just really actually kind of taken aback. This is the first time we've seen Suppy play a ZVZ where he didn't do an 11. Yeah,
I mean, we saw no 11 pool last game. No 11 pool this game either. The roach.
Well, he went with an earlier one last game. He went with 10 last game.
He'd go with the
this
10
is like
pool.
so late for him, and we haven't seen him yet in his EVZ do this. I don't know.
Absolutely not. It looks like the first Zergling Scout's going to make its way over from xSixSuppy. It's going to see the hatch first. Hatch, of course, done. 2 queens on the way as well, 6 lings. And one of the interesting things to note about this matchup, and I've said it before, I believe, is that when you open hatch first, there is a window, and it's actually right now, where before your opponent's hatch finishes, you can actually outproduce your opponent in lings because you have 2 hatches. And so it makes a lot of one-base plays weaker at this specific timing. We do see the lings running away across the map. He's going to go ahead and pull back. Are the roaches on the way? No, it looks like instead of the Roach Warren, we actually had a Baneling nest go down out of xSixSuppy, so he wants to get aggressive with Banelings. I love Banelings, so I love this choice out of him. Suppy with the precautionary spine crawler going down at the front. Needs to use the queens to block the ramp, though, in the event that Banelings do make their way over.
Baneling nest about to finish up for xSixSuppy, though. And you can see the timing on everything is just a little bit faster for him as well. I'll be curious to see if he wants to take advantage of this timing or not. My inkling, however, is not, since there's not a large army out there. Am I wrong about that?
I mean, he's gone back to making drones, so this looks like kind of an eco play. Although we do have some Zerglings out on the map, they are going to stream toward the base right now. And Suppy's own Baneling nest about to finish up. We do see a Baneling being morphed in. Is that back here defensively?
12.
I think it is, yes. Yep. So we do have a defensive Baneling going down. These lings not going to do too much damage. There are 2 queens, a lot of Zerglings here.
Well, they're going to try to pick off a drone here as one of them could go down. Wow, he didn't even stick with that much there. And, oh, there's one that's going to get caught with those lings. So one
the lings are actually going to be able to sneak into the main. So that's actually a pretty big deal. They're going to see the Baneling nest. This is mostly, I think, for scouting. If he gets some drone kills, he's happy with that. But he's not expecting to do a ton of damage here.
And he got 6 or 7 of them there, though.
I mean, and if we just look at the counts for both players, let's just take a look at that really quick. We see the drone count. He's only 2 ahead in the drone count, and Suppy actually has like 27 lings out on the map. This could be really scary unless he has enough banelings. He doesn't have banelings, though. He's just got this one spine and the one baneling in the main.
Yeah, and look what's making right now, Gwin. Not much of much.
Not much at all. He's making 8 lings, but these Zerglings from Suppy, this could do huge damage. He's target firing down that queen. He's going to get that. At the same time, there's these lings in the main doing some damage on these drones. So Suppy going to big aggressive play. 20 lings in production for xSixSuppy, and Suppy is making drones behind this. Suppy, you are so good sometimes. It is scary. And look at this. Suppy probably just going to try and pick up this hatch and then pull back, which is the safe move. Baneling is coming out, though. He needs to pull back. Great reaction time out of him.
Yeah, saving the hatch, too. Props to xSixSuppy being able to save that thing for the moment. There is one Zergling still in that's being dealt with, and it finally goes down there for a second. I think the health of that hatch is pretty low, though, Gwin. What kind of risk is he running there?
Let's take a look at that. No, yeah, he does have it in the bottom third, but that's still 500 hit points. So I think he's okay, but the loss of the queen is kind of a big deal. Did he lose the queen in his main? No. Let's take a look at those unit loss tab, though. We see 4 workers down, so he's able to kill off some workers, killed off some more lings. And, you know, I think Suppy, especially the fact that he actually didn't spend any gas, is pretty huge. And now he's morphing his own defensive banelings back home. He's going to be absolutely fine for this counterattack as long as he controls well. And knowing Suppy and knowing his control should be pretty good.
Ooh, Bane's going to try to stay alive, and he does successfully. Wow, as that harassing ling gets taken down. And it looks like the full retreat for xSixSuppy here for the second. Spinecrawler's going to go back up, as well as the Evo Chamber in a nice wally kind of Zergling denying kind of position there.
Suppy going for the quicker lair. He's also getting his Roach Warren up a little bit faster than his opponent. He's already got +1 missile on the attack, or on the way. So I like this play out of Suppy quite a bit. He's basically, you know, transitioned out of the Zergling Baneling shenanigans a little bit sooner than his opponent. And because of that, and because of the faster +1 attack, +1 attack is this amazing timing for Zerg, because especially against like a Zergling Baneling opponent, that's the point at which your Roaches will actually 2-shot Zerglings and Banelings, and before that point they don't. So you know, that's something to keep in mind. Suppy with the great defensive Baneling positioning. We see great defensive Banes out of xSixSuppy as well. Doesn't want to lose to any counterattack stuff.
Boy, you know, Suppy's being kind of sparing with the minerals right now, at least more so than I would. I was expecting like the largest round of roaches ever conceived in that last round.
Well, he's putting 10 out right now. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to save up for that third hatch to go down. He wants to take the fast third. His opponent, though, looks like he's trying to gear up to take a fast third at the gold, and Suppy might decide to do the same. I think he has, you know, kind of caught wind of that. I have a couple Banelings still sneaking out. If xSixSuppy could get a huge hit on these Zerglings, that would be amazing. Looks like he's going to try and go for it.
Suppy's still making roaches like crazy too, man.
I'm sure he wants to
expand behind this push out that he does.
And hold on, the Baneling's going to come in. They're actually going to do a lot of damage there. So
that's
Suppy,
actually really cool.
Not paying attention. xSixSuppy taking advantage of it, but look at this out of Suppy. That is a lot of roaches, guys. +1 is about to finish, and roach speed on the way as well. So Suppy could potentially do a huge push here. Third base has gone down for xSixSuppy.
When was the last time, Gwin, you saw a creep highway built?
PVZ. Not ZVZ, though. I mean, I see the creep highway for, like, Ling Hydra all-ins off 2 base.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I just saw these overlords lining up, and I was sort of like, well, I guess that's just a coincidence there. I guess it's
a little bit of an engagement here. These roaches pushing out. They do have the +1s. They're going to 2-shot Zerglings, and xSixSuppy is going to see that, and he's going to go, uh-oh. That might be a problem. I need to make a lot of units. 13 roaches in production for him. The +1 about to finish up, so Suppy is going to lose this timing where he has the upgraded advantage, and his opponent does not. But he's got the Zerglings and Banelings getting a free queen. Maybe he's just coming in here to try and deny the third. But I don't know if he knows about the third. And he needs to be careful to get a good concave, because that is a lot of roaches. Looking at the unit tab, we see, what is this?
Ooh, he's going to get lucky and scout the gold, too. Gold is going to get denied.
The gold is definitely going to go down. Nice. That is exactly what he wants to do. And look at this. He's taking a hidden expansion.
Gangster third.
So we'll have to see how that turns out for him. He's got Banelings in this mix, but he needs them kind of like outside of the group so that he can flank on in.
Oh, I'm really surprised he didn't try to push the issue there, Gwin.
You know,
He's got the defender's advantage there. Is that what is he?
I think that's part of it, and I mean, this is a lot of roaches. You know, the roach count was equalizing slowly, and Suppy's taking his third. So I think that what Suppy feels is that it's one of those deals where he's like, I'm in a comfortable position. I secured my third base by doing this move out, and I forced the cancel on my opponent's third. So he feels comfortable in that. And he's going to go ahead and poke out into the middle of the map.
That's a huge army though.
Oh, absolutely. Huge. I mean, we're looking at 150 food out of Suppy. Third base, about to finish for Suppy. Taking out the rocks with his gold. Wouldn't be surprised to see that go down shortly. Macro hatch as well. What other upgrades do we see? It looks like Suppy a little bit later to the Hydra Den. But we have Hydralisks out on the map now.
Yay!
For xSixSuppy, and Hydras with the +1, if you can keep him behind the roaches, that's actually really scary. He's going to get all these free Overlord kills at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's going to be painful right here because the supply block could come with a couple of them get taken down. Wow, that's a lot of roaches showing up, though, Gwin.
Absolutely. Suppy, you know, not with the upgrade advantage, needs to be careful when engaging this.
Yeah,
he's got a good split,
nice.
But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Those Banelings need to get some critical hits in. And if they do, he might be able to make the magic happen. But it looks like Suppy, no, just going to pull back, deny this base again. Suppy, this is such good play out of you, but don't get caught.
Oh, he's still going to ensure that it goes down, though. I love that play. That one split right there made it possible for him to keep harassing this hatch.
Oh,
it made it up.
The base actually stays up, so this would be an even better time to kill it now that it's gone up. He didn't get the cancel off. And Suppy reinforcing with pure roach. Let's look in the production tab. No, Suppy adding on Hydralisks of his own. +2, though, going to finish for xSixSuppy sooner. So he's going to have the upgrade advantage here, and he might try and push that.
That is the world's largest roach army. But I agree, Gwin. I think he should definitely just take, what is that, about 5 Banelings worth of hits there on that hatch, or is it more? Does he need 8 of them to hit?
Well, it's what, 80 damage? 80 damage per Baneling.
10 he needs.
About 10 Banelings. I believe it's 80 damage per Baneling on buildings. 80 damage, correct.
Okay.
So that will be reduced by armor of the hatch.
And it's healing up by the moment here, so the longer it sits, the better it gets.
And Suppy is actually basically maxed out. He needs to push because you don't want to sit on that max. But, the burrow out of xSixSuppy.
Sick. He's going to heal those roaches up, too.
Not only heal those roaches, but I was waiting for him to actually just pop out underneath this army. Or get a good flank on it that way.
Some posturing. Let's check some incomes for a second if we can.
Sure, let's pull that out.
Do that. Boom. Well, xSixSuppy with that gold, he's got the domination.
Some more posturing in the middle of the map. Are we going to see an engagement? We see the split out of Suppy getting that concave that is so important in this matchup. Here we go. Baneling's coming in, and I think that Suppy has the favor in this. His Overseer, though, not in the best position.
Nice. Supply starting to plummet now for xSixSuppy as Suppy's units moving closer to range.
The burrow after the Overseer has gone down. Those are all going to heal up. Suppy, you're standing right on top of that army. Be careful. I think he knows he's standing right on top of it. It says, okay.
Sure.
I'm just going to sit here, and it pops up. They're going to get the Hydras in the back. That is terrible. The worst positioning possible. And he just burrows again after taking out some of those Hydras. But, I mean, the supply tells the story here.
Yep.
Suppy definitely got the better in that engagement. xSixSuppy did not push his advantage when he had the upgrade advantage, and Suppy caught up in upgrades and is bringing it home.
He's also maxing out right now. All those macro hatches coming into play here. As the Roach is going to move in and start one-shotting stuff, sniping away on all those Hydras. Drones are going to come out and try to defend here, but they're not going to be able to do it, and Suppy's going to punch through these frontline defenses of xSixSuppy.
Absolutely. The GG out of xSixSuppy. So we're tied up 1-1 in this game here, guys. We're going to go into game 2 shortly. Or game 3. Sorry, that was game 2.
Yes.
Suppy bringing it back, tying up the series 1-1, and we're in a best-of-1 situation.
My favorite. It's
right
my favorite.
Now.
You get to see what the A game